now. So, Casey, of all of these headlines and all of that 10,000-page document dump, what do you think the worst thing is for Facebook and its business in particular?
Well, if you want to look at the business, I think you have to look at the amount of documents contained in this trove that point to the challenges Facebook is having in attracting and retaining the younger generation. In document after document, we find data scientists poring over the data and finding that many demographics are sharing less than they used to or not sharing at all. And when it comes to their younger users, their teenage users, they're just having an increasing amount of challenges. So, we often talk about Facebook as this unstoppable behemoth. That's sort of the heart of the FTC case against them. But you read these documents and you see that this company really feels like it has an existential threat.
Yeah, so Casey, I found that really interesting. I guess I have a couple of questions there. One is, do you think that the revelations that they're not doing so well with the younger demo is going to cause advertisers to pull away from Facebook and maybe shift dollars over to Snap or TikTok? And do you think this could be the cause of real SEC concern? This was one of those issues that was flagged to the SEC because Facebook was not disclosing this, right?
Right. Well, to your earlier discussion that you were having, there are a lot of questions about the ad market, and we're going to learn a lot more later today when Facebook reports its earnings. I think, we simply don't know how badly it's been hit by the changes in the ad market. So, one possibility is that, yes, advertisers do flee for greener pastures. Another possibility is that Facebook is still kind of the best in the business, even with these degraded capabilities. So I think we're going to just kind of have to wait and see on that one. As far as the SEC, the folks that I've spoken to say that she's made some pretty novel arguments here in trying to get the SEC to look at these issues. I know some folks are skeptical that the sort of complaints that she's raised fall under traditional SEC purview. At the same time, I do think the SEC is going to feel pressure to do something here, given the sheer magnitude of the coverage and all of the documents that she's provided to support her claims. So I do expect the SEC to have something to say about all of this in the end.
Casey, I know this is kind of a weird way to look at it, but isn't some of this kind of good for Facebook? I mean, these new papers show Facebook deliberating internally about this stuff. And isn't that kind of what we would want, for there to be back and forth instead of like, no, just turn the growth dial to 11? And then plus the stuff you were saying about this is Facebook looking vulnerable. Monopolies don't look vulnerable. They just, stomp through cities, knocking over buildings. This isn't what Facebook looks like from these papers, right?
I think that's such a great point, John, and I hope something that people pay more attention to. When you read through the Facebook papers, as I have, they are largely the story of good, smart people inside the company trying to push it to do better, trying to do the research that's going to help them make the right decisions, and I think that's worth paying attention to. At the same time, the papers are also a story of those same people getting stymied by bureaucracy, red tape, and roadblocks, and that's where I think Facebook really needs to focus its attention, is it actually empowering the people inside the company who are trying to improve it to make the changes that they need to make. Now, to your second point, though, I do think that is the absolute silver lining here. Facebook is staring down an FTC case that is trying to break up the company, and now here you have a really rich set of evidence that despite the fact that Facebook bought Instagram and WhatsApp, it is still having a hell of a time competing for that younger generation, and they are really, really worried about TikTok and Snap in particular.